What's going on, YouTube? I'm here for another video. Um, as you saw by the title, um, the subject of today's discourse is Donald Trump stupid? Now, as I told you, I am a fan of the media. My favorite thing is television, but I also watch movies and listen to the radio and podcasts and a lot of different things. And Donald Trump's name is getting mentioned a lot in today's media because he is running for president as a Republican, and as of this recording, he is number one in the polls as a Republican. And the prevailing statement or the insult levied at Trump is that Donald Trump is dumb or Donald Trump isn't smart. And before I really get into this, let me make this perfectly clear. I do not support Donald Trump to be president. I do not want Donald Trump to be president. I do not think that Donald Trump would make a good president. If I were in a better financial position and Donald Trump became president, I would probably leave the country. Let me make that perfectly clear. I don't think Donald Trump being the president of the United States would be good for me as a black man. I do not believe that. But that's not the subject of this video. The subject of this video is is Donald Trump stupid? And a lot of people have accused Donald Trump of being stupid. And for me, I feel that when you make statements like that, when you make statements that Donald Trump is stupid, it makes it hard to get the message across that you're trying to get across. Now, let me explain. As far as stupid and smart goes, stupid and smart, those phrases, they exist within the realm of intelligence. And intelligence has a spectrum and it has variations. There are levels of intelligence and there are types of intelligence. If you want to say that Donald Trump is stupid, I would have to ask you, how do you define intelligence? Because how I define intelligence is intelligent, or being intelligent is being able to consistently get what you want. That's intelligent. If you can over time get what you want out of life consistently, then that to me seems like a highly intelligent person. Now, that doesn't mean that a person who is intelligent at getting what they want out of life is qualified to do everything that a quote unquote smart person would be asked to do. But when you make it seem like Donald Trump is some fool, some idiot, some guy who doesn't even deserve the money that he has, you seem like a person that's unwilling to engage in a serious dialogue. Now, I'm not defending the honor of Donald Trump. Believe me, I'm not. If you want to insult the man, there are better insults than questioning his intellectual capabilities. You can question his sexual capabilities. The man has had a number of really young wives, and he has a lot of money, and he's kind of funny looking. So you can question his sexual capabilities, how long he can last, how big. You can question that. People love, picking on a man in that way. You can question a lot of things, and if you want to talk about him not being presidential material, I think you have a serious argument, because he does have a background in business and he has run companies, but that doesn't necessarily qualify you to be in government service, particularly the president of the United States. Now, Ronald Reagan was an actor before he ever took up any kind of government office. Now, I think he may have served as a mayor or as a governor before he became president, but it's not unprecedented that people will go from a profession that has nothing to do with government and will take up government office. And Ronald Reagan is considered by a lot of people, none of whom are black, but a lot of people, to be one of the greatest presidents that the country has ever had. So I just want people to stop saying things that really don't have any basis in reality. It's like people are saying that Donald Trump isn't that smart. His daddy gave him the money. Well, his dad, he admits that his dad gave him a loan for $1 million to strike out on his own. Now, I've heard that he got as much as $4 million to strike out on his own. Now, Fred Trump, Donald Trump's father, let's say he gave him $4 million to strike out on his own, do his own thing. And let's say that Fred Trump gave him $500 million after he passed away. Now, I don't know if that actually happened. I don't know if that occurred. Let's just say for the sake of an argument, let's say that him being an entrepreneur and him being a business owner has nothing to do with any kind of skill, any kind of personal talent. He just got given a whole lot of wealth. Well, Donald Trump took $500 million and he flipped that to $3 billion. Then he went into bankruptcy, which means that all of that money was in jeopardy. All of his assets were being liquidated. He couldn't afford to pay his bills, and he got out of that and became even richer. Then subsequently went through 3 other bankruptcies of various companies and various casinos, and managed to maintain his wealth through all of that. Put his name on a lot of buildings, got golf courses, got the Miss Universe pageant, had one of the longest running and most successful reality shows to ever be on television. And if you watch the original Apprentice is really some of the best pure business advice that you'll find outside of a business school. I mean, the original Apprentice, the shit with Omarosa and all of them, that had very thorough, very good business advice. And these tasks and these challenges were all, out of the mind of Donald Trump. So Donald Trump increased his wealth, increased his inheritance, something that many people would just live off of, something that many people would just have lawyers or have some sort of foundation or have some sort of business. Just be a trust fund, baby. Something that most people would just eat off of the interest and then let their kids eat off of the interest. No, he created an empire after his father had died, and he took the business further than his father could have ever imagined, than his father would have ever been able to take it. Now, did he do a lot of underhanded shit? Probably. But who in business doesn't do underhanded shit? So he's not unusual in that way. Being an evil man does not make you an unintelligent man. And I think that's another thing, is that people have to stop blending goodness and intelligence. Goodness and intelligence do not exist in the same realm. Being a good person and being an intelligent person have nothing to do with each other. You can be as evil as you want to be and be brilliant. And people need to understand that, and people need to talk about that, so that we can stop writing off people like a Donald Trump as stupid when they are wickedly brilliant. Donald Trump has such a large popularity on the Democratic ticket, on the Republican ticket, for the same reason that Bernie Sanders has any kind of popularity on the Democratic ticket, is because people are fed up with politics as usual. People are fed up with the same old nonsense that they've heard for every election. They really believed Obama. They really believed in Obama. And they believed that Obama was the second coming of JFK. They believed that Obama was going to come in and he was going to change this nation, radically, like nobody else had before him. He was going to fix the problems. They look at Obama like a messiah. And not only was Obama not a messiah, he was very typical of everybody else who enters into that office. He was not very different from most presidents. So when you look at the fact that people were really let down by Obama, they said, okay, let's give Bernie a chance. Let's make Trump a serious candidate. It's not because we want Trump or Bernie Sanders in the White House. It's because let's see if anybody can make a difference. Because I assure you, if Donald Trump steps into the White House and becomes the president of the United States, which I hope that he won't, but if he does, and the people see that Donald Trump can't do anything either, that Donald Trump is the president and it's still the same old, it's still the same sort of policies, it's still the same kind of rhetoric, it's still the same sort of nonsense that we've gotten from all of the presidents before. If Donald Trump becomes the president and nothing changes, then people will completely lose faith. That will be all of the evidence that people need to just rebel against the government. People will have no faith at all in the process, because not just Donald Trump, but Donald Trump or Sanders. Donald Trump on the Republican side, Bernie Sanders on the Democratic side. If either one of them become president and there isn't a radical shift in policy, if there's not a radical shift in this country, then people will know that the game is rigged. People will know that at the very top, nobody can do anything of any significance. And I think that's what's driving a lot of people. They have an anarchist mentality. They want to see a change or this motherfucker burn, but one way or another, they don't give a damn. But that's kind of my assessment. I'm just like, let's have real dialogue. Let's have a real conversation. I understand why people, black people in particular, Mexicans, I can understand why you wouldn't like a Donald Trump, but don't underestimate and undercut somebody's abilities by labeling them as stupid. If you want to insult him, insult him. Insult him as much as you want. Call him a bigot. Call him a racist. Call him incompetent to run a country. A man that has never shown that he's had any experience in governorship. Say that he couldn't possibly be a diplomat, that he couldn't possibly have any kind of foreign relations with other countries. Say that. But don't say that a man that made billions, lost billions, and made billions back ain't smart. Don't say that, because that doesn't make sense. Don't say that Donald Trump isn't intelligent if you can't go out and make $1 billion like he did. He definitely had a few million, maybe even as much as a $500 million, and he flipped that into $4 billion. So some of the people talking have, a few $1,000,000. Money is passed through their hands. Some of the people who say this, they've had access to millions of dollars. At the very least, they have a few 100,000. If you got 100 or so thousand, if you got $1 million, you should at least be flipping that to 50 million or 60 million. You should at least have Chris Rock money. If you ain't got Chris Rock's money, Chris Rock got 70 million. I think he should have a lot more, but Chris Rock got 70. So you should have taken that few million you made and flipped that into at least 100. So if you ain't got that kind of intelligence, then don't question Donald Trump's intelligence. I guess that's all I wanted to say. I just want people to stop saying that people like Donald Trump and people like Ben Carson aren't smart. Ben Carson may say a lot of idiotic things. He may say things out of his mouth that are baseless and have no truth in them. Bad diet, y'all. I eat very poorly, and it makes me sick. But sorry. But Ben Carson is a brain surgeon and a well-renowned brain surgeon. So when you say that somebody who performed neurosurgery is dumb, is not smart, it makes me question your own intelligence. Deal with what the man says, but don't question his overall intelligence. Question his competency. Question his motives. Question his qualifications. Question who's putting him up to run for president. There's a lot that you can dig into with both a Ben Carson or Donald Trump. Let's not have um simple insults ugh, ugh, being thrown at people just because you don't like them. I can understand why you wouldn't like a Donald Trump or why you wouldn't like a Ben Carson, but deal with the facts and be honest and be accurate and be thorough and give people a fair and a balanced assessment and let them make up their own mind instead of you just insulting people. I don't want Ben Carson or Donald Trump to be president. I think that Ben Carson would be even worse than Donald Trump. I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm just endorsing the truth. That's all I'm endorsing. I'm endorsing intellectual honesty. That's what I'm endorsing. Anyway, that has been today's video. I apologize, for, sinus issues. I'm a man that's 300 pounds. I eat a very bad diet. I'm trying, and I will change that horrible diet as soon as I have enough of an income to eat fruits and vegetables. But that has been my video. Let me know what you thought about it. Did you agree with the points that I made? Do you believe that Donald Trump is actually a fool, that is actually stupid? Do you think that I was inaccurate in my assessment of what intelligence is? Do you have any information that I may be unaware of? Let me know what you thought. Put it in the comments. Send me an email. If my email is not in my channel description, I'll put it there as soon as I have an opportunity, or I will leave it in the description. Rate the video, share the video, support the channel, help me have more in-depth conversations, help me make more content, help me improve my technology, become a part of the conversation, help me communicate with the community, with the public, help me have real conversations. That is all that I have to say about this subject, and I will see you in the next video.